many of the high schools are offering all or some of the CTAE pathways that you can take advantage of through a district. Let's talk about CTAE. What has that been like for you at your districts that you're in?
Well, I mean, there are different types of, pathways. You got CTAE, you have foreign language, you have academics. So, depending on what's the best fit for that student, that's the best pathway depending on what they want. But I always tell students, make sure you can't start, okay, I want to do foreign language. I'm going to start off with ninth grade foreign language, but then I'm going to switch over to, most of the time students can get at least 2 pathways, right? Okay. But you can't start over every year because you'll never complete it. And then I'm pretty sure colleges are looking at, did you start this pathway, did you finish it? And of course it's dictating what it is that they want to major in. Ideally, if they complete a pathway, that's what they want to pursue when they go off to college. This one is for our parents, students, and your village. When trying to figure out what your why is, there's a few ways you can do it. Find out which pathway that you want to take. There's foreign language, there's fine arts, there's CTAE, and there's academics. Talk to your high school counselor and have that conversation to figure out exactly what it is, what pathway you would like to take. Right. I know one of the things, of course you have that top 10% they're gonna do, they're gonna do what they're supposed to do, but then you got the other 90%, they just have to be very strategic and careful about, and that's part of what high school counselors do. They help the students advise them on, okay, if this is the pathway you want, this is what you need to take in order to do that. And some students can, easily, they can start early as 8th grade with a pathway, depending on what it is. Okay. But CTAE, that's definitely a good option.
Yeah. Another very important element to that is the transition from middle school to high school. Making sure that you as a student and a parent do the opportunity to look at what the high school that you're entering is going to be offering, and to have some of that career awareness and exposure prior to, so it allows you to select a pathway that's going to be a good fit for you. But you need to do that prior to getting to high school to make sure you can maximize and utilize the high school offerings, for that. Your transition from middle school to high school. This is such an important time for you to make sure that you have the opportunity as students and parents to really research the course offerings that will be at your high school that you are planning on attending. Please make sure that you have experiences where you can explore those career and CTAE pathways so you're better prepared when you go through the selection process. Also understand that high school is the time and the place for you to explore different careers as you prepare to select the career and the goals of your choice.
It's funny that you said it because that's exactly what I did in middle school. We actually toured the high school. So I didn't go to my zone school because of that. We were looking for opportunities. So definitely, again, being able to branch out and take advantage of it. So you don't have to go to your zone. Well, sometimes you do, but sometimes you do have opportunities to venture out outside of that little zone school that might, limit you a little bit.
Yeah,
and school choice and all of that.
Right,
yeah.
and whatever your assessment tool is in your district or school, using that data to help inform you, whether it's the Navigance platform, Youth Science, or an assessment on GA Futures. They are career assessments that are plentiful for free on the internet, that you can use that to help inform you before you get to high school.
And I like that the whole that helps students advocate for themselves. And I always tell students, I've been in situations where I work with students. They've come from different places. Students move around. Some districts have high transient populations.
Yes.
But I always tell students, you should be selecting your pathways or the courses. You should have a say-so in that. And you shouldn't show up the first day and this is the first time you know what your schedule is. So advocate for yourselves and make sure if this is what I want to do, you keep talking to everybody until you can, talk to the right person to get what it is that you're interested in.
Right. Yes.
I think it's a delicate balance though, right? Because as I'm hearing and I'm just picturing all of these amazing students listening to this information, I think it's a tough balance where it is pathways and exposure to all of these career pathways. But then I'm also thinking, man, freshmen, just that transition from middle school to high school, They're trying to figure that out. Then on top of it, you're asking me what I want to do? I don't know. I mean, how many of us as adults still don't really know? Or we're always thinking, what else is out there? And so I hope students also know that there's time to figure that out. You don't have to know exactly what you want to do. It's about maximizing opportunities to put you in the best situations possible. Some students know the day they're born what they want to do. That's great. But for those students who are sitting there thinking, well, great, everyone knows what they want to do and I have no idea, I promise you're not alone. And most students have no idea. Some students are just faking it, to just think, yeah, I got this. And they're thinking, I don't know what I'm interested in. I don't know what I want to do. I remember being in high school and thinking, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite subject. I don't know if I'm better at one over the other. I don't know what I want to major in college. Right. And so please know that is okay as well. So I think these pathways are so great to have some structure in there, but also making sure that students can give themselves a little grace. If they don't know, there's beauty in that as well. Maybe you're good at a lot of different things.
Undecided.
And maybe you're undecided. Absolutely. And maybe you're going to be doing something, a career path that doesn't even exist today.
True. Correct.
Because
Very
how
true.
many new career paths are coming up? So just be, that multi-talented approach, just kind of taking those classes, listen to advice, take that guidance, but don't feel like you have to lock into a pathway to be admissible to our colleges either.
Right. So you bring up a good point, and this is where I want to start giving advice, right? This is where I want to start giving advice. Yes, no. We got to give advice to these students and these parents, right? And it's all about the interaction process, right? Of interacting with a high school counselor or a post-secondary specialist, or interacting with a college recruiter or an admissions personnel that's in the office, and making sure that they are taking advantage of the opportunities to get this information. I call them access points, right? Because you're getting information, but also doing it in a way that's not going to mess up your opportunities. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the pet peeves and things that they should be doing when they talk to you at a college fair, or when they're coming to your office, or somebody on your team's office. What does that look like? Let's go ahead and start giving them advice so that they can be better prepared for the next time that they interact with those individuals in their lives, or the ones who's going to be making decisions on their admissions. All right? What does that look like on your end?
1, 2, 3, not it.
I'll share an experience that I had.
All right.
It was I think I experienced life as a high school counselor, and my son was in high school. All this was happening at the same time, and I'm just kind of like, God, what are you preparing me for? Because just very interesting. And we got through the college application process. He decided he wanted to go to a private institution, Morehouse College. We get there, I'm checking. I got my little checklist. I'm ready. I don't know if he's ready. I'm ready. So we go in. I go in the office, and I say, hey, we're doing this, and that. They let me finish. They say, Miss Maxie, right? I was like, yes. You can have a seat. I said, oh, okay. And this we need him to articulate what he needs and let him handle that process. So I had my 2 seats in the little corner. I made my little notes, But that was a lesson for me, and even parents that are watching. You got to let them navigate that process, and students got to be able to. As he was nervous, he was uncomfortable. He got it out. He did it, and as we navigated through that process, he got better at it.
This one is for all of the helicopter parents, including me. Make sure you allow your student to navigate their process. Make sure they know what their why is, not your why, but their why. Allow them to own that process. Of course, you can do your research behind the scenes, but allow them, once again, to navigate their process.
Right.
He knew what to ask for, and he was giving me feedback once he kind of had, on campus and all that. So I appreciated it as a parent, and even as a high school counselor. I started changing my tune, like when I'm talking to parents and students, make sure you allow them to navigate that process. Right. So that was a learning lesson for me. I had to take my 2 seats. And
that helicopter or that lawnmower parent. Right. I know what that's like. I've had those type of parents when I was on college campuses. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's really important is it's okay to meet students where they are, right? However their concept of college is, that's where you start, and it's okay. It's okay to ask questions, and it's certainly okay to explore, because that's what it's for.
Right.
So you don't have to be sure, you don't have to know everything, but that's where you explore.
Right.
And with the bridge law requirements that you take for the assessments, all they are is guides to help make this journey more efficient and
Right.
more targeted for the students. So just meeting them where they are.
Okay, all right. How does that come across when they're looking for acceptance at your school? What are some of the things that students and parents are doing when they see you at a college fair or at a high school visit? What is it like? You know what? I wish you knew this. I wish you didn't do that. Let me help you out so the next time that you speak with a high school or a college recruiter, you're better off. Like, what are some of those things?
I always want a student to just be their authentic self. I think they try to be so formal sometimes and so polished, and it's okay to joke around. Like, for me, I will say that I like to be, as you mentioned, meeting a student where they are. I get that it's already an intense environment. You're already, you know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. So you're nervous in that sense as well. So just talk to me, and the conversation grows from there. And that way, we're gonna find out what major you're interested in. We're gonna find out the locations of whether you want to be by the beach or we won't. But we can start again just a conversation. So I wish students knew that we're just people, and if parents same way, just talk to us. How was your day? We can start like that, but we don't have to go into the meat and potatoes so early. Right. And with that, like I said, we grow from there. But that ultimately, again, I just want to know who you are. That's where it's going to start, and that's how we're going to view your application: who you are, where you're coming from, and why you want to attend our school. So it still matters.
So Jen, on your end, what have you been experiencing with those high school students?
I think first of all, just for students to know that it's okay, whether we're at a college fair, at individual session, or they're just sending us a message. It's okay to just say, I'm not really sure what to ask. I know I'm interested. I want to learn more. I don't know where to start. That is okay. Yeah. There's no judgment. We're not taking notes about every single question we're being asked or what they're wearing, or it's not like that. So it's okay to just it goes back to that idea of meeting students where they are. I want students to know that that's okay on this end too. Yes, there's a little bit of that polished view to it. I always tell students, keep in mind that yes, I love however you want to talk to me, however we want to have this conversation, great. But also know that maybe it's a little different when you do talk with a faculty member. Maybe it's a part of leadership at that institution, or if you're interviewing for admissions or a scholarship. We all know we have to sort of step that up in certain moments. It doesn't mean you're not going to still be who you are, but we all do that, right? We're not in our pajamas right now having this conversation. You step it up a little bit.
Kind of glad you said that. Yeah, let me fix what Kevin said a little bit.
Yeah. I'm used to that. We've been friends for a while.
True, very true, very true.
No, but it's true. Still, we're all still who we are. So students, I hope, remember that too. Yeah. So just, if you already know a lot about the colleges, say, I've done my research and I have some specific questions, that's okay too. You don't have to know everything. We don't know everything about our institutions. We're always learning. Yeah. But just, it's okay to say, I don't know. Well, and start from that point too.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all know now. When we're working with students, we are telling them to have a professional email address. We do not want juicy booty this, or we don't want money mall that. We want to make sure that you are professional while you are talking to college recruiters people who have a decision-making power over if you're going to get accepted or not. You're not going to email them talking to them in text language. You know, you're going to address them as the professional they are. And so we want to make sure that that's something that we're talking about when we're preparing these students and these parents as they get ready to go to the next step, right? So I'm gonna let y'all know that's what we're telling them, right?
Look, make sure you write your own essay.
Yeah, write your own essay.
Don't let
not
Chat
AI,
GPT,
not ChatGPT.
AI. Be
Right.
careful.
We're definitely talking about
You
that.
gotta, it's the way to do that.
So, parents, right? You were a parent. You were a parent, right? And so there is a thing called a helicopter parent or the lawnmower parent who wants to cut the grass and make sure they have an easy stripe to get to wherever they're going, right? When I was on the college campus, I was in a part of my career, I was in student affairs and making sure that we could keep at-risk students in school and matriculate to graduation. And a lot of times, the parents will try to come in and answer questions for them. Did the same thing as you had, right? Excuse me, can you sit down? I need to speak with your child. And, you know, we're preparing for the self-advocacy and leadership and adulthood and things like that. So any advice for parents who feel that their child may or may not be ready or feel that they need to step in or anything like that? What have you seen and kind of what advice do you have for those type of parents who just can't let it go?